Next on, we have Rebecca.
Fantastic. Okay, let me see how this works.
Pull the thing down.
Got you. Okay. I'm guessing some of you may not remember Live Aid when it was here, so I thought I'd start with a little bit about what it was. It happened on the 13th of July, 1985. It was two concerts, or a concert in two venues, Wembley in United Kingdom and in Philadelphia. And in the audience, across those two venues, there were 172,000 people. But it was also the largest broadcast ever done of concerts, which actually meant there were, across 60 countries, 1.9 billion people watching these two concerts at this time. They hoped when they set up Live Aid that they were going to raise £1 million. They actually raised 150 million on the event. But how did it come about? In Ethiopia, between about 1983 and carrying on to 1984, there was a famine, and about 8 million people were affected by that famine during that time. During 1984, it was a BBC film crew that actually went out there and started raising the attention of what was going on. And it was this man, Michael Burke, who possibly many of the people in this room remember or have seen the footages later. He described it as a biblical famine of the 20th century, the closest thing to hell on earth. It shocked Britain. And it shocked this man, Bob Geldof. He was really moved by the plight of the children who were starving, who are really suffering. And him and Mauger wrote a song. And then they talked to their friends, and they got their friends together, and they produced a record. Do They Know It's Christmas? It became Christmas number one in 1984. It was the fastest ever selling single of the time. It raised £8 million. They expected it to raise 70,000. They were kind of surprised, but they were pleased. And so Bob Geldof went to Ethiopia, and he went to go and see the situation to work out how the 7 million should be spent. And while he was in Ethiopia, what he realized, being overwhelmed by the sight, is that he needed to do something bigger, something better, something to plug a gap because more money was needed, but something to raise attention about the issue and to shout really loud about the fact that actually something really horrible was happening. And Live Aid was created. Bob Geldof went back to the UK. He talked to some of the stars who were part of the record in the UK, in Ireland, in US, and together he created this Live Aid that it is. There were over 50 performers who performed on the day. Queen, Madonna, Bob Dylan, many of the stars of the day, the future stars, and the stars of the past who just wanted to be there, who wanted to be part of it. It was an amazing achievement. Why is it a game changer? Why am I here talking to you about it? Because it's kind of a bit of a celebrity thing that we were talking about. We're not a celebrity. What is it that's special? Firstly, the scale of the impact. So it raised £150 million. That's a phenomenal amount of money in one day. It also raised attention. So it was 1.9 billion people who were watching. It was an amazing achievement. And certainly for me, I was one of those people. And it's one of the motivating forces of why I'm in the charity sector. And I wonder around the room, how many other people it's also touched? How many of our donors it's touched? How many people remember that moment? And so it raised 150, but it also impacted people more widely than that. For Bob Geldof, it was about the publicity. It was about what he did afterwards. And it was first of many. So why is it special? Because actually lots of people have done that afterwards. Lots of people, there have been lots of concerts, and they've done a lot of really good things from it. But the final one for me is actually, it's a really great example of peer-to-peer major gift fundraising. Because actually, it was about one person who was inspired by a cause, who then went and spoke to all of his friends and all of his contacts, and he said, can you use your time and can you use your talent to come together to create something where we can raise money in the best way we know possible. Okay, it's not about them giving money, it's about them creating something that actually would raise more money from it. And it's about Bob Geldof and that individual, because he as an individual really transformed some of the fundraising on the day. The famous line, don't go to the pub, stay in and give us your fucking money. That increased the giving from that moment online hugely. And he was Bob Geldof. He can do things like that. But the reason I'm talking about it today is I'd love to be able to find more well-connected people who have a real passion for the cause, like Bob Geldof, creating Live Aid and really making a transformational difference. Thank you.